So, back in the 1980s, UK police tracking a serial killer ran into this massive problem. They just had way too much data.
Right. I mean, pushpins on a map were basically just creating this meaningless sea of color.
Exactly. And to catch the Yorkshire Ripper, they realized they didn't need a better microscope. They actually needed geometry.
Yeah, which is
It
fascinating.
really is. So welcome to this deep dive into geographic profiling. We're using course materials designed by forensic mental health specialist Kevin O'Doherty,
And our mission today is to give you a complete overview of the spatial math and the psychology that investigators use to hunt serial offenders.
because it takes a lot more than just DNA, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the Yorkshire Ripper case is really the perfect starting point to see how this all evolved.
Right. So Peter Sutcliffe attacked 21 women across the north of England over, what, 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years. And the traditional pin map was just completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of that geographical data.
Which makes sense.
Right. But then a UK police investigator did something completely revolutionary. He bypassed the traditional suspect interviews and just analyzed the actual locations of the crime scenes.
To compute a mathematical center of gravity, basically.
Exactly. By calculating the spatial mean of those 21 attacks, he was able to predict where the offender was anchoring his life.
That is so wild. It's like finding the center of a spider web just by looking at where the bugs are caught, you know?
That is a great way to put it. You don't need to actually see the spider to know exactly where it's waiting.
So why does this math actually work so well in practice?
Well, it comes down to human nature. Back in 1982, these researchers named Brantingham proposed that criminal behavior strongly mirrors everyday, non-offending spatial behavior.
Meaning they don't just, like, teleport to a crime scene.
Right, exactly. They operate in areas they already know from shopping or working or just socializing. They build a mental map through their daily routine, and they pretty much stick to it.
Okay, wait, let me push back on that for a second. If self-preservation is the goal,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't a smart criminal just drive completely across the country to offend?
You'd think so, right?
Yeah, specifically so they aren't caught anywhere near their actual house.
We do often assume that, but, well, David Cantor's circle theory explains a hidden friction that actually prevents it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so think of an offender's territory as a series of zones. First, there's this buffer zone immediately around their home. They avoid hunting too close to where they sleep to keep police heat away from their own doorstep.
But they're also restricted by a concept called distance decay,
Yes, exactly.
because traveling too far costs effort and time, and it introduces this severe risk of navigating unfamiliar territory.
Which is a huge deterrent. So the vast majority of offenders are actually squeezed into a comfort zone. It's like this narrow donut of space nestled safely between their buffer zone and their distance decay limit.
Okay, so if they are stuck in that narrow donut of space, how do they actually find victims?
Well, the mechanism varies. Hunters, for example, will actively search for a specific target within that home territory.
Right.
But then look at trollers. A troller isn't actively hunting. The mechanism here is just pure routine.
Like they're just going about their normal day.
Yeah, maybe commuting to work, and they opportunistically spot a vulnerability. Then you also have trappers who manipulate the environment to lure a victim into their zone.
Wow.
And finally, poachers, who are the very rare exceptions willing to absorb the risk of traveling far away to hunt.
It's kind of like running errands, you know? You usually go to the closest store, but if you want a highly specific rare item, you'll travel a lot further.
That is a perfect analogy. And if we look at those poachers, it exposes the main limitation of this whole methodology.
Because geographic profiling assumes the offender's home base is the anchor.
Exactly. But what if the target is fixed? Like if you want to rob the Louvre, you have to go to Paris no matter where you live.
Right. The location of the prize dictates the crime scene, not the offender's home.
Precisely. The algorithm really struggles with highly lucrative targets for that exact reason.
Makes sense. Are there other blind spots?
Yeah, it falls short with single non-serial crimes because there's just no spatial web to calculate.
Mm-hmm.
Or if multiple offenders are operating in the same area using similar methods, the data just gets way too noisy.
So geographic profiling isn't some magic crystal ball that prints out a suspect's address.
No, definitely not. It's more of a filter. It prioritizes massive data sets, so traditional techniques like address searches or database screening can actually finish the job.
Which is still incredibly valuable.
For sure. But before we wrap up, O'Dougherty's materials do offer a grounded perspective for you.
Oh, right, the reassurance part.
Yeah. Despite the grim nature of all these behavioral models, serious, organized violent crime is actually incredibly rare.
Which is definitely a reassuring fact to hold on to. But it does leave you with something pretty interesting to chew on. If someone mapped out your daily routine, like your commute, your usual grocery store, the gym, what kind of buffer zones and comfort zones would your own geographic profile reveal? It really makes you wonder just how predictable your life really is.